offers exercise, transportation, and a mental escape. Oh, back one, all in one. And with that, it builds respect not only for self, but also it builds respect for the surroundings and the trails like that you all have provided to the community. It builds self-reliance, sustainability, and also self-confidence. And most importantly, it builds it's a tool for fun and joy. Everyone can remember their like first bike, getting out on the street, getting out on the trail, saying "Peace, mom. Peace, dad. I'm gonna go hang out with my friends and ride to the park." And so that's something that I think is a little bit lost these days, and we want to try to reinstill and give that opportunity because it is a great connector. Next slide, please. So at our core, what we're trying to do is get more kids on bikes. We feel that kids are the future in the way that we can shift the way cycling is seen as recreation and transportation in our city and the greater world or nation or whatnot. We believe that bikes can lead to the accessibility of opportunity. Um, they can bridge gaps. They can give you that leveling out that you need to ride on the trails and escape time or escape whatever's going on in your life. We found over the past 20 years that organizations that are cycling organizations work in silos here in Charlotte. So everybody's working to kind of like build what it is that they need. And we found that the best way to make an impact um, is to be connected and provide pathways and opportunities to re-engage. It's not enough to give kids a bike, take them on a ride, and say, hopefully this works out. So how can we work together, organizations here in Charlotte that are surrounding cycling, to give give accessibility to bikes, give them the education on how to get to trails and the way to kind of use them and ride on them and really utilize all the benefits of cycling. Next slide, please. So within our like micro ecosystem of Trips for Kids, I'll run down through what our programs are. So with this, we touch on pathways very much. How can we connect one experience to the next experience to kind of keep the engagement and enthusiasm to explore cycling through youth, members of the community, or whatnot. So our first program here is the Charlotte Recyclery. It's our community bike shop program. What this really is not so much a shop as much as it is a resource and an accessibility point to bicycles. We basically take donated bikes that are either going to be discarded or unwanted, maybe like past their prime for most bike shops, and we transform them into educational programs, bikes that we can use in our programs, uh, opportunities for community to learn about mechanics, and then bikes themselves. Last year we were able to collectively through our shop and our programs put out 1,800 bikes. Think about what 1,800 bikes looks like in a landfill. Not doing anybody any good. So that's our first program. Next slide, please. Um, the next program that we have there is our actually Earn a Bike series. And basically it's a operation and safety program. At the end of the 6 hours, youth get bike lock lights and helmet, and this kicks them off in exploration. Next slide, please. Uh, we create a pathway to our advanced Earn a Bike, where it's more about taking apart the bike and reassembling it. So this is where the skin in the game gets there. Now they have a bike. Now it's part of theirs, and they have ownership of it. And we want to kind of replicate that through our next program I'll talk about, but we want to replicate that through trail use and mountain biking. How do we um, engage youth and teach them that, hey, this is our trail also, this is something that we have skin in the game, and this is something we want to support. Next slide, please. So oh, this is Yeah, okay, I'll talk about this one first. So the last one that we have currently in our menu is a family earn a bike. We partner with an organization called Cycling Savvy. It teaches parents basically road safety and how to ride on bikes. This is that part of education where we want to have educate on how do you connect from home to park, right? So unfortunately, our greenway system is not quite yet there. So we're on the road a lot. This reinforces the youth through work with their parent or guardian. Basically, they both earn bikes, and now they can ride together to parks. They can ride together on greenways. They can ride together and explore mountain biking as well. Next slide, please. And this is a program that Brian has worked with Trips for Kids with for a long time. We've been around since '99. I'm not quite sure when Tar Heel Trailblazers came in, but they've been there the whole time working with us at Colonel Francis Beatty. We also, for a brief period, worked at Fisher Farm. But our ride program is that discovery opportunity. Many of the kids that we ride with don't even know that you can ride off road, if that's even opportunity. So we've utilized Francis Beatty for a long time, and we want to continue this engagement with youth, continue this engagement with families, but also continue them with potentially volunteers of the community that are interested in this. And then have that service component where we're also engaging youth to understand and get that skin in the game of, hey, these are our landscapes that we can contribute to, and yeah. Next slide, please. So brings me to takes a village to raise a child. The youth of today are the future advocates and the riders of tomorrow. We believe that they they can, if we create the right ecosystem and atmosphere for them to engage and get into cycling and mountain biking, so creating those gateway trails, educating on how to connect and support that together, not only as one organization, another organization, but how do we work together with NICA, or how do we work with other organizations that are around that are trying to support cycling um, to overall raise um, the way cycling is viewed and hopefully the way cities support cycling, for the future. So we always like say this uh, line in our ride programs: together we can overcome obstacles on the trail and cover distances one pedal at a time. So it's building that confidence and you know making sure that we're re-engaging and engaging and providing those opportunities for uh, youth, community, and families to get into the things that we all love. Um, Last slide, please. All right. So, how can the Tar Heel Trailblazers and Trips for Kids Charlotte work together to increase accessibility of mountain biking to all? So, it really is, what you can think of. It's open. We want to connect, and we want to hopefully build future mountain bikers, future advocates for mountain biking, future advocates for cycling, um, by working with you all, supporting you all, engaging with the amazing things that you guys are doing. And hopefully, what that brings to the trails are future mountain bikers that will become part of Tar Heel Trailblazers or become trail stewards or become whatever, like there are many pathways that can stem out of like engaging with cycling. Um, on a bike, off a bike. We're hoping more on the bike kind of thing. And so it's really open the air, and we are excited of the opportunities that maybe we can connect and maybe support some of the or support the trail work that you all are doing and get more kids and more advocates out riding. So thank you so much for five-ish minutes. Hoping to take too much time. And thank you for having me. You're, I can't
I
hear
was
you,
muted.
Brian.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, thanks, Eric. In the near future, we're going to be collaborating with Trips for Kids on a couple of work days at Francis Beatty and at Southwest District Park. I think we'll probably be doing open streets 7 to 4 stuff in the future, hopefully again, and also looking at opportunities to collaborate on bike park projects in Charlotte. It's very early in the discussion on that, so I don't want to go down that path too much, but definitely the kind of stuff we're thinking about for the future. So thanks, Eric.
Thank you.
All right, let's see. Okay, so next I saw Vanessa joined. Vanessa is with the Catawba Lands Conservancy, and she's going to be talking to us about National Trails Day, which I believe is June 5th.
Yeah, thanks, Brian. Hey, guys. So this is a little last-minute impromptu, so I don't have any slides, but y'all already took care of it. Pulled a social media graphic from the marketing toolkit and everything. That's awesome. So thanks for having me on. In brief, y'all, I know many of you guys for a number of years when on my time at REI as the outreach specialist, and we were granting Tar Heel Trailblazers money then and partnering on work days. So 9 years later, I'm still at the Carolina Thread Trail. So thank you for all of your work over the years in partnership to support trails currently at Rocky Branch and building that out. That's looking awesome. We're really excited about that that connection there and just adding that much more length to this extensive project. You know, I'm not going to go over Carolina Thread Trail. Most of you guys know 1,600 miles that are planned to connect 15 counties in North and South Carolina. There's over 300 miles of trail that are open and 170 miles of blueway, so river trails that are open to use for the public. Over the years, you know, unfortunately, you guys know, most of the designated thread trail segments aren't really great for advanced users of who mountain bike because they are short, they are not technical. However, there are a few in our network that are, and I hope you guys have all been able to get out there and enjoy those segments. So National Trails Day, you all are attending this year as well as Trips for Kids. Woo! So there's more partnerships there. Love Eric. So National Trails Day is a nationwide initiative that is sponsored by American Hiking Society, and we celebrate it locally for the last 5 years, except for last year, by hosting a local festival. And this is the biggest local festival in the region to celebrate National Trails Day. And this event has always featured, even before the pandemic, a really dynamic way for people to get together as a community and celebrate the trails and the rivers that are part of the Thread Trail, but also highlighting that partner. As y'all know, we don't own and manage the majority of trails. They're owned and managed by a local municipality or a land trust. We only actually have 7 that we manage, and that is because of our lead organization, like Brian mentioned, the Catawba Lands Conservancy. So it's a way for us to feature an implementation partner as well as just get a bunch of people outside from the various areas. So most you know, the last 5 years we've been in Gaston County, McAdenville the first 2, then Cramerton and Goat Island, and now we're in Mount Holly at Tuckasegee Park. And so with the dynamics of this event, it's all about coming together and go doing something. Come and go kayak, come and go sup, come and go bike, come and go walk. And so there's a lot of moving pieces to this event. We also have kind of traditional exhibitors, which we will this year. We're pushing 30 exhibitors again, which is pretty amazing, seeing that this event just got approved last week by City Council. So it's moving real fast, and we have a lot of support, which is wonderful. So y'all will have a 10 by 10 space. Come out, do what you want. We encourage all of our exhibitors to have some kind of interactive component, whether you're hula hooping or maybe you're showing you know, folks how to change a tire, or you're just promoting your services with any kind of trivia or giving out candy or trail mix. It's really up to y'all. But historically, we receive approximately 2,000 folks, primarily from Mecklenburg and Gaston counties. However, because of the impacts of the pandemic, we're not really sure what that audience is going to look like this year. But the event itself won't change much from the years before. It'll still be very busy with plenty to do. It's from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Before that, there is a volunteer work day that we are partnering with the City of Mount Holly to enhance the habitat at Tuckasegee Park. I know Bruce brought up a possible opportunity to partner with Tar Heel Trailblazers for a workday. Unfortunately, just because this event is coming together in such a short time frame now, I would like to talk about the opportunity to do that next year, because we are probably going to stay in Mount Holly for another year. So this event moves around every couple of years to feature various segments and partners. However, because we couldn't have it last year in Mount Holly, we have a commitment for doing it again. So there are plenty of nearby sections in Mount Holly, whether we do it in Belmont, that are nearby, that we could probably do a work day out there before, or maybe the day after, or day before. So we can definitely discuss that opportunity. So please feel free to promote it. I just posted an Instagram post on Carolina Thread Trail. We have an event page, a Facebook page. We already have the media kit, so you know what to do there. Yeah. Thank you guys for your support and ongoing partnership all of these years, both Tar Heel Trailblazers and Trips for Kids. So let me know if you have any questions.
Awesome, thanks. Anybody have questions for Vanessa? Okay, looking forward to seeing you on June 5th. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
All right, let's see. Next we have Kyle. Are you on? Talk about the spring membership.
Yes, hello.
Right,
Can you
there
hear
you
me
go.
okay?
You good?
Yep. Okay, cool. Thanks, everybody. So yeah, my name's Kyle, and I've joined Brian and the team to help drive our memberships. And as you guys know, we've had a historic approach of having 2 membership drives a year. And so I participated in the last one, and as we're moving forward, we're trying to improve this effort. And so one of the big pieces here, obviously, is the goal of these membership drives is simply to drive registration for more memberships. And what we found so far historically is that people are responding to giveaways and incentives. And so we've really tried to take a focus at improving those incentives, give those giveaways, and then also offering extra packages. You know, we got some great feedback after the one we did for the fall drive that just one grand prize wasn't a great approach. So this year we've tried to round it out with a few second tier type prizes. So returning for our grand prizes, the opportunity to have a punch pass to go to the Riveter. That pass will give you 10 trips to the Riveter, 10 visits, or 10 people if you go as a group. It's about a $500 value. But then we've added this notion of the Ultimate Trail Builder Kit, the essence of giving back and hopefully getting more people to be giving back to the trails. We've created what I think is a pretty handy little kit that starts with a Tar Heel Trailblazers hat. There'll be a Yeti water bottle, there'll be a Rogue tool, and a pair of gloves. Thank you, Brian, for the hat. So hopefully, you know, this round, we're already seeing a greater response than we've seen typically in the first couple of weeks after the post. Would love people's feedback. I'm not sure if we have enough time now, but I'll make sure my contact's available to everyone. But, you know, what we ask of everyone that's on the call and able to participate is obviously amplify this through your social media, through your friends network, whatever you may have, bike shops that you work with locally, any way that you can pass along this message to get more people to be aware of it. These are great little prizes to take advantage of. It's an awesome trip to Asheville, to a great bike center. Then, like I said, a great chance to earn a kit that really makes you the ultimate tool volunteer that can help us out at all times. But again, we'll be doing 2 drives a year. We're now in the midst of the spring drive, and we'll be working on a fall drive. So would love people's feedback as we go into the fall. Also, if you happen to have any cool connections to things that you think would be good prizes that could get donated, we'd love to have other sources as well. So that's kind of it from that side. So thank you. Thanks everybody for your help so far, because we've had a great start.
Awesome, thanks, Kyle. Okay, next up is me. So if you haven't seen the social media posts, the Colonel Bike Park, this is what we're building at Francis Beatty. There's the existing 800-foot pump track. And on top of that, we're adding an intermediate and expert flow loops. And that is fully funded as originally designed, which was 2 loops completely made out of dirt, imported dirt. What we're doing now is currently a fundraiser that will kind of up the concept a bit. We're making the jumps for the expert line all bike park style wooden ramps with dirt landers. And we're going to start off with a wall ride on that loop. And then for the intermediate loop, we're going to be incorporating a bunch of imported rocks into it. So it's going to be pretty awesome, and it's going to be a durable, loops, and they're going to last a long time. Elevated trail design, they're going to be coming down in October to build this. They're also going to be refreshing the pump track while they're there, adding more dirt to it and getting it in tip-top shape. So we're super excited about all that. We'll all be riding it by November, I believe. And happy to have Eric on here because Trips for Kids was one of the big investors to get the whole project started off to begin with. But I should mention we are currently doing a bike raffle for an Ibis Ripley AF from Ultimate Bicycle. It's a super sexy bike, so if you can't win if you don't enter, so be sure to get some raffles tickets there. I think there's another 40, 50 days left in that raffle. So that is what we've got going on for the Colonel. Next, Hans is up with Rocky Branch. There you go. Take it away, Hans.
Thank you, sir. I've also invited Matt Malone, CEO of Nature Trails, to join us. I don't know if Matt, if you were able to join, if you're on. No, okay.
Yep, I'm here, Hans.
Hey, Matt's here. Okay, so Matt's going to help provide some color when we start talking about the individual segments. So before we get into the progress, I just want to give a plug for a volunteer work day this Saturday. Check out our Facebook page or Instagram, Rocky Branch Park, for the details on that. We're going to be focused on touching up some of the legacy trail connections. So what you're seeing here on the map is just the net new trail, but we're keeping some of the legacy trail that was already existing, and we're going to connect it in really fun ways through the thread trail, and even connecting to some of this net new trail. So we've got a work day this Saturday. We need some help to get the trail that's completed so far open this summer, targeting early summertime. So in terms of the progress, what you see in the middle of the park, that red line that runs through the middle of the map there, from parking lot to parking lot, is the Carolina Thread Trail. So timely that we talked a lot about the Carolina Thread Trail in two different presenters today, and from Eric's point of view, connecting communities. What you see on the right hand side is Belmont. What you see on the left hand side is Cramerton. So we're connecting two communities with that thread trail, but also when you go through Cramerton, right now it's on road, but eventually off street will connect all the way to Poston, in what we call the Gaston Epic. Recently, you may have seen announced that the Catawba River Keepers have opened the boathouse on the South Fork. So our pathway to the Gaston Epic goes right by that River Keepers boathouse where you can grab a beer, and they're also doing shuttles up to Spencer Mountain to run the little Class 1 rapid down from Spencer Mountain down back to the boathouse. So it's a pretty awesome, epic multi-sport adventure that we are really excited for, to be able to go from downtown Belmont all the way to Poston with a bunch of fun stops along the way. So we've got the thread trail completed through Belmont. Nature Trails has also been awarded the contract from the town of Cramerton to finish the thread trail from the line. You probably can't see it very well on this map, but pretty close to where the arrow that says Carolina Thread Trail is pointing. There's a city line there. So Matt's working on finishing that thread trail through the town of Cramerton, connecting all the way to the leftmost parking lot sign, which is Eagle Road, and there's an EMS station there with a little bit of parking. And then the future connection that's been priced out, and we're looking for funding, is the red line that goes up past the baseball fields behind the tennis courts, that connect to like the existing thread trail pathway that goes across Lakewood Road and to Goat Island. All right, so thread trail is substantially complete in Belmont, and will be super fun when it opens. I mean, when you guys ride this, it's wide, it's crushed recycled concrete that you could take a jogging stroller on. but Matt and team have built send hidden into a bunch of nooks and crannies along the way on the sides of the trail that are super fun to ride. I'm really excited about that. The green zone that you see that's on the north side of the park is well underway. So they've made the turn, so to speak, at the top and are working their way down. And where you can see that the trail splits into two lines, they're about right there. And I'd love to hear from Matt a little bit about like the vision for that green loop and like the progressivity of it and how we're going to teach the beginner rider how to take the next step in building those skills of getting their tires from, we took them from pavement to crushed gravel, then we took them from crushed gravel to dirt, single track, and then we're taking them from dirt single track to multi-surfaces, different surfaces like rock and boardwalks and things like that. So Matt, why don't you tell us a little bit about that trail segment and what makes it so awesome?
Sure. So Green Trail is designed to be approachable by all skill levels, anyone who's comfortable just getting tires on dirt. It's a pretty wide tread, 36 to 48 inches most of the way. Some opportunities where it gets a little narrower, but there's opportunity for progression all the way through it. So we have everything from just smooth tread to sections where you are riding over roots, sections where we force them to ride over just flat rocks in the tread that aren't really challenging, but it's just a new surface type, all the way up to having optional bypass lines where you're doing up over little baby rock gardens, options to go over little log rides. And then as you progress throughout the trail, there's opportunities for going off little rock jumps and little banked rock turns, and it just progresses further and further into rollers and berms. And the further you get down the trail, you have start to get some descending. We've got some baby tabletops, some baby jumps, all the way up to the split. At the split, when you stay to the right, it's going to stay fairly tame, and add in options for skinnies and boardwalk and different things that keep you low to the ground. But again, more texture and surface types just to change it up and let people experience different types of riding. If you go to the left, it's what we're calling the enduro line. It gets to have a little bit more steeper gravity oriented, some kind of G out sections, over rollers, up over, catching some air on little rock lips. And we finished up a couple tabletops and rollers today. And there's going to be a drop zone towards the end where there's 3 different heights of progressive drops. So really the idea is that you're not forced into anything above your pay grade, but you have opportunity to progress on everything from just riding over a flat rock in the trail all the way up to going off of drops and over tabletops. So it's going to be help riders graduate from never being on single track all the way up to feeling confident on features they come across on any trail. And then up to the blue zone, which is going to be, all of this times 2 times 3 in terms of magnitude.
Yep, and I'm very pleased to announce that Nature Trails has been awarded the contract to construct the blue zone. So that's pretty recent. We've just issued the notice to proceed. It's flying through the air into Matt's inbox right now. So that's going to kick off right away. I mean, they don't need to mobilize, of course, so they're just going to shift some folks as soon as we get that Cramerton portion of the thread trail punch through. We'll be able to shift some resources over to blue and get that open in the fall. So everybody wants to know when it's going to open. That's the biggest question. So we're not going to wait for blue to be finished. We are going to go ahead and open with the thread trail in the green. So there's going to be very little interruption to users while we build blue. So we're going to go ahead and open because we can do so safely. So like I said, early summer, we don't have a firm date yet. We've got a couple of really small change orders on the thread trail. We're going to add some additional amenities since Matt did such a great job staying in budget on that part of the project that we want to get before we open up. We're going to add a little bit of fencing in some areas where the send is just a little too sendy, and we want to make sure that everybody stays on the trail. And part of the blue zone scope is a really cool surprise that everyone's going to be really impressed with at the trailhead, and we want to get that in place before we open the park to the public. So early summer, stay tuned. It's going to be really exciting. And then I saw some conversation recently on social media. People are pretty excited about Black Zone as well. That has yet to be hard design. So we have conceptual design for Black. We don't have hard design yet. We're super focused on getting what is designed built right now, and then we will shift attention to designing, fundraising, and building the Black Zone. And the Black Zone is your full send big air, like you can see kind of in the photo there, sort of your Cedar Valley type bike park stuff. So stay tuned for more on that as well. Thanks, Brian.
Awesome. We did have one question. What time was the workday?
RVP workday is Saturday from 8 to 12.
Okay. And does anybody else have Okay. Anybody else have questions for Hans or Matt while we've got them? All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Next up, Kyle, we're going to pull you back up for North Meck. I know everybody's been wanting to know when that's opening back up. I hear you have some good news for us.
Good news, not a date. Thanks for having me back, I guess. So for North Meck Park, if not everybody knows, it's been closed down since August due to a stream restoration project. And that project's wrapping up. And we've had a chance to go in there and really see what kind of work's been done. And we're happy to be able to report that there's been less trail impacted than we thought. So to get it reconnected is actually, we anticipate to be easier. We are definitely held up by the construction team. They're responsible for not only finishing the project itself, but they're also going to build 2 26-foot bridges. That'll be a key piece to reconnecting the trail. And then we'll have 2 small sections that we need to reconnect. So just trying to get some more dates about when we can get started, but we're looking at a mid-June trail working day that we'll announce as quickly as possible, but trying to get that confirmed by the end of tomorrow. We've had 2 Boy Scout projects come through. So 2 Eagle Scout projects got completed. So we've got 2 new bridge crossings and then 1 section that, at least for North Meck Park, will be considered advanced. But it's about a 60-foot boardwalk with a little tiny tabletop in the middle of it. It'll help us mitigate an area that's known for being wet, but it also has a big ride around for beginners. And then I think that's really it. You know, we don't have a lot of other glorious things going on. I have to say, Matt and Hans, that was a pretty inspirational update. And the other piece I would say also randomly is I'm looking for a container, like a shipping container. If anyone happens to have any connections to used shipping containers, we've just recently got permission that we can put either a shed or a container on North Meck's property. And then we'll have our own area there to be able to keep equipment, which we currently don't have anything like that, except for a small toolbox. So this will help us out a lot. But yeah, randomly, if anybody has a connection to a shipping container at 10 by 20 is preferred, please let me know. That's it. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Kyle.
Yes.
And finally, Airline Bike Park. Tom Ambrosevich has been leading up this project. He was not able to be here tonight, so he has given me a bunch of notes to run through. The main thing, we've been trying to get a parking lot built for this place for about 2 years now. Originally, the developer surrounding our piece of property was going to build it for us, and then they were bought by a different organization, and that ground to a halt. And then we were trying to work with Parks and Rec. They started talking about permitting, and it seemed like another long, drawn-out process. So what we've done within the parameters of our agreement of the kind of work we can do is we have created a very large, a wide trail. It's a gravel trail, and you can park about 30 cars on this trail. So it's a parking lot loop, I believe, and so we're very close to a soft opening at this point. But first, I wanted to thank Craig Richter. He's on our board. He's also done some work for us. He came out and ran an 1,800-pound excavator to do this project. Vulcan Quarry donated 160 tons of gravel and riprap to build this parking lot trail. and Blythe Development got Kim Hauling to transport all of that materials for us. So a lot of people stepped up to be able to do this at a really low cost. But what that means is, so we have a primitive parking area. It's about the third the size of Sherman Branches, so that's not going to be nearly enough for the kind of popularity this trail is going to have. It's about 30 spots at the moment. But once open, parking is going to be at a premium, so we're probably going to need people to carpool, and we're going to coordinate with that to use space wisely until a permanent larger parking lot is built. There's not going to be any amenities at the start, no bathrooms or garbage cans or running water or anything. Eventually that's going to change, but for the soft open, you know, at least we've got a place where we can get volunteers in to work on the trail, and of course we can go ride it. What's built now that you'll be able to ride once it's opened, we've got 6 miles of trail. Some of it is hand built, a lot of it is machine built, and it's really fast and flowy. There's a decent amount of elevation out there. So there's some climbing, and it's a lot of fun. We've got a black diamond jump trail. It's above my pay grade, this trail, but it's pretty awesome. It's got a nice road gap in the middle, so some big booters and a hip jump, but it's pretty awesome. And we're also going to have there is a dirt pump track ready to go as well. Ultimately, the long-term plans are a full 25 miles of trail out there, and more jump lines. They'll be progressive, so green and blue jump lines, and there'll be some other progressive trails out there as well. So a lot of stuff to come for the future. That's what we've got at the moment. So the soft open, that means the opening and closing of the trail, the gate's still going to be there, and it's got to be opened by our volunteers. So it's not going to be open 100% of the time because we don't have any Mecklenburg Parks and Rec assistance at this moment. So it's going to be dependent on weather, and also if we have enough volunteers that can open and close the gate. They are working hard on a few trail projects to make sure it's all ready to be opened. And there are just going to be some work days soon, so be sure to look out for those so you can help us get it opened. We're working on signage. Currently we have styrofoam plates at every intersection noting where future signage will be. We've got to meet with EMS so they know how to respond to an emergency out there and how they can navigate the property. And then we got to build some trail connections, kiosks, and just a few other things. So there's going to be lots of opportunities to help out and ride and check it out in the near future. This is a really unique property. It's in Mecklenburg, but it feels really remote. There's about 100 feet of elevation, so it's about the biggest opportunity for elevation we have in Charlotte. A lot of opportunity here. I know a lot of people have been excited and waiting a long time. We're super excited too. Yeah, we're going to be opening that real soon, so stay tuned for more. Any questions on that? All right. And then I just had a few more things to run through, and then we'll open it up for any announcements from you guys or questions. The Concord Trail has yet to be named, I believe, but the parking lot is finished. The town of Concord came in and made a beautiful paved parking lot for that. And there's now 3.5 miles of single track that is complete. It's not officially open yet, but it's definitely ready to ride. I got an opportunity to ride about 2 miles of that this winter, and it was pretty awesome. There's a lot of rocky terrain and good elevation and stuff. So that's going to be a cool, unique trail to check out. They've been doing a lot of hard work out there. National Trail Day, we talked about that earlier. Bruce Euler is going to be holding a work day June 6th, the day after, at Mountain Island Lake, so he'll be posting details of that soon. And then a couple of coordinators have reached out to me. So in the spring, all the trees kind of grow in, and you get the face flappers and everything. So it's been requested, get those folding saws out and break off those branches. And when you do, break it off at the trunk of the tree and just kind of clear all those face flappers, and that'll really help the trail coordinators as they're working on a lot of other projects as well. And that's, kind of something everybody can can help do. And that's all I got. Anybody else have announcements or questions before we wrap this up? Any update on getting jerseys? We had somebody working on a design for a jersey. I have not seen if that's been finalized not yet. I'll check on that. What style of jersey? I would assume a mountain jersey versus the 3-pocket roadie. Yes. All right. Any other questions or announcements? All right, I think that's it. Thank you everybody for joining and everybody that came to present. A lot of stuff going on. It's been a challenging year or so, but we've got so many projects going on. It's been pretty awesome. definitely looking forward to getting together in larger groups of people again, and I know we'll be doing that in the near future. So thanks everybody, and have a good night.